topic, continuation of the previous class called as a memory unit chapter. So in today's class we shall be discussing about what do you mean by memory management unit, right? In the previous class I have discussed about the technologies. Which are the technologies that we were using under the memory management? Logical address, physical address, dynamic binding, dynamic linking, and fifth was base and limit registers. So these are the common terminologies that we were dealing with this memory management, right? What did I told you? What do you mean by this logical address? The address which is generated by the CPU is called as logical address, right? Whatever the address that is being generated by CPU is called as logical address, and the addresses which were seen in the memory, that type of an address was called as a physical address, right? And the binding which is done at the runtime, linking, that is that particular file is going to link it, and it is only part of that is loaded into a CPU, right? Where in this dynamic binding what we are doing, entire program may be linked, or else whenever which particular system call is done, only that part is being executed into CPU. That was dynamic binding, right? And what do you mean by this base and limit register? Here we are going to fix up certain initial and the last value, right? That is the base is the initial value, limit specifies the range of the value that is specified in your memory, right? With continuation of this, we have discussed about this logical address and physical address. I have told you to link between the logical address and physical address, because CPU is here, this is logical address, and memory is here. How this, whatever the address generated by this, how it is going to be shifted into this memory? There should be some continuation, right? There should be some link which should establish between CPU and the memory. Is there any proper link that we have provided? No. To that particular thing, it is being managed, right? The linking of CPU to the memory, that process is being managed by this unit called as memory management, right? That particularly we can define that as mapping up of logical address to the physical address and during the runtime by this memory management unit called as relocation register, right? Shall I repeat the definition once again? Mapping up of, mapping is nothing but connecting from one particular point to another particular point, right? Mapping up of this logical address to physical address during the runtime by the unit called as memory management unit with this register known as relocation register, right? So here with this figure itself it is clearly understandable. Here the CPU is generating that logical address. What is that address generated? 146, and here is my memory, right? So the linking of this CPU to memory is done in between what it is memory management unit with a register known as relocation register. We are going to link in between of that. It is acting as an interface, right? So what is that relocation register? It is going to link during the runtime. During the execution time, it's going to link it. That's why we have added it. This is a symbol, plus symbol, right? CPU address generated is 146 and my relocation address is 1000. By adding up of these things, it will be 1146, right? This particular address is going to map into my physical memory. This physical memory is nothing but this main memory, right? So this relocation register is going to map between logical to physical addresses with a unit called as this MME. Okay? So here just we are adding this 146 plus 1000, it is this. It means in this memory where this particular address it might be located, we don't know exactly where it is located. It might be here, it might be here, it might be wherever it is. We don't know, right? It's going to link that particular location and that process is being stored. Is that clear? Fine. Now let us go with the next topic known as memory management techniques. MM stands for memory management. So in memory management techniques, we are going to learn two different techniques, right? One is contiguous memory, another one is non-contiguous memory, right? Before to this, I would like you people to know something about the swapping concept, right? Swapping, as a name itself indicating. What do you mean by swap?
Interchanging.
interchanging, right? Swapping is nothing but shifting up of the position, in simple term to say, right? Changing up of the location from one place to other place, or is shifting up or interchanging. All are one and the same, right? All these things, three meanings are same. Here in simple terms, what do we do here? I have represented two figures again, right? With this figure we can explain the swapping process very easily, right? So what is this? This is a physical memory. What is a physical memory normally containing about? One is stored for an operating system, another one is for user area, right? As I told in the previous class, see, the physical memory is basically consists of two main sections. One is reserved for an operating system to perform its task, and another one is user area, where the user area is containing all the different type of the process. Okay, and this particular thing is mainly used for execution. Got it? The same thing. Another part what we have defined here, disk, right? What is this disk? Storage purpose, right? And the storage of the data or the storage of the process. Here P1, P2, P3 are nothing but either you can define it as a program or its process or its jobs. All are one in the same. Here I have represented P1, P2 as a process. Is that clear? Fine. So here is a physical memory. Here is the disk, right? What I am doing is, well, how many number of the processes are located into the disk? 6. How many processes are there into my CPU for execution? Only one initially, because I may have 100 of the process into my disk, but only one process is executed one at a time. If it is in a multitask, okay, in multi-programming, there will be a chances that some 2 to 3 programs are loaded, but parallelly it will be executing one at a time, right? Though the two processes are running in only in case of multi-programming, 2 or 3 processes can be simultaneously executed, right? So in swapping is a technique that we are going to define the process which are initially for time being, the process which are temporarily stored into this disk are moved into this physical memory for execution. Shifting the process from this disk into the physical memory is called as swapping in, right? Which from this process, from this location, it is brought into this for execution. That is swapping. Once the process is been done, it is been removed out from the memory out. That is from your CPU out. That is called as swap out. Swapping is nothing but getting the process from disk to the memory is called as swapping. After the execution is done, it is been removed out from the CPU. That is called as swap out. The simple definition and clearly defined as, it is defined as interchanging the position of the process. You have interchanged? Yes. Jobs from the disk into physical memory. Only two things you need to remember. Whatever the process is here, we are bringing from this process into this particular area for execution. Once the execution is done, we are simply removing it out. You know stacks? What is the stacks? LIFO. Last in, first out. I will be placing it as P1, P2, P3, P4, P5. Right? How do I do it? I will be entering all the process into my disk here. Right? Each and every process will be getting out. How it is getting out? Once the things have been done out, we are going to remove. It cannot access directly this P1 until unless I remove all the process. This is what we are swapping out. Is it not a swapping out? Yes. Removing from that one particular location into another one is swap out, and getting them back again into for the execution is called as swapping. Right? This is what the definition. And this bringing back from this into the physical memory for execution. After finishing out, we are allowing the next process. See, once we have first allow for the P1, once the task is done, we have removed. That's why it is called as swap out. After completion of this particular process, which was the next process which was allocated in this disk? Obviously P2, we are going to bring that P2. After completion, we are again pop out. Pop out is nothing but removing them, right? This is what P2 is swapped out. This is done, right? After that, again P1, P3 is been brought in, bringing up this particular process into the CPU for execution. This is swapping in. After the execution of this process, what we do again? Swap out, right? This process of interchanging of location which takes place between disk and your CPU is called as swap. Is that clear? Fine. So this is also called as rollout and rolling. Same, swap out and swap in. Okay. Now we shall go with the next concept known as the techniques, right? What are the different techniques that we are going in this memory management is, there are two different techniques mainly. One is called as contiguous memory, another one is non-contiguous memory, right? That is memory allocation methods we say it, right? As the name itself indicating, contiguous means what? Continuous, right? So here we have defined. Contiguous is which is written something. In general also you can predict it. Contiguous means the things or the process which are stored into the memory or into your disk in a continuous fashion, in a sequential order, in line by line. This process is called as contiguous, right? Similarly, the vice versa of it. What it is? The things which are not done in a proper order or else not in a sequential order. That is called as non-contiguous. Okay. So here, one more thing we can define here. In contiguous, the whole set of the program, right? A program, or let us consider this particular disk, right? Just an example, okay? This disk is containing of 6 programs. These are, let us consider these are the small part of the program. Let us take this big P is a main program which is containing 6 different sections into it, right? Means all this complete 6 part of the P6 programs is acting as a one single unit, right? Means in contiguous memory location, the whole part of the program is stored as a single unit. Instead of making into a sections, here we are storing it as a single unit by considering the whole part. Is that clear? All together is merged into single. It is not bifurcated here. It's not divided. It's not sectionally done. It is considered as a whole, right? The same thing in case of non-contiguous. It's vice versa, obviously. Here it is done as a whole, means it should be vice versa of it. Here it is done in sectional wise. It is done in a part wise. Here the sequentially we are arranged. Here the sequentially it is not arranged, right? And the third and the important thing is the techniques that we are applying in the contiguous as well as non-contiguous are, we will be explaining and learning more in detail about this. Example of contiguous memory allocation is partitioning. Okay, partitioning is a contiguous memory allocation. I'll come back to this topic now. Partitioning is the example for the contiguous memory allocation. Okay. Sorry. And segmentation, paging, virtual address, these are all the example of non-contiguous memory allocation. Okay.